going on, world? It's the KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals podcast. I am Kuya P, and I'm joined by my World Trios Championship holders, my House of Black. First up, I got Shawn Mongold wearing the Young Buck shirt, man. This ain't the elite.
Hey, we are elite, though. So, I mean, this is the elite of podcasts, I think, in my opinion. Wrestling podcast. There we
go. I love it. And I also love that you're right behind your wife's butt for promoting the show.
Her ass coming up this weekend. It's great.
I love it.
I'm just right here in the middle.
We'll talk more about that. We'll give love to the homie Maki over there, your lovely wife. Also, the man of style, the man, the myth, the fragrance, my brother, WebsterStyle. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good.
Great to see you. Great to see you. All right, gentlemen. We missed you, Shawn. You weren't here last week. I know you had some other things popping off. I think you were having some pains from all them workouts, bro. How you been, man? Let's catch up. What have you been checking out on the wrestling, Twitters, TV, all of the things, man? How you been?
Man, I've been good, man. Yeah, I had a little bit of a hiccup last week, so I took it as like my break week, my deload week from like lifting heavy, and I'm back at it this week. But yeah, no, wrestling wise, been catching up. Watched a little bit of WWE. Like I said, I wasn't really, after the Raw, after Mania, I was just kind of like, man, fuck this. But I caught a little bit of the draft here and there. It's still kind of whack. I think the funniest thing I've seen so far is, Brock impersonating Undertaker, the Cowboy Undertaker by my man Wild out there. But definitely been keeping up with Dynamite. Loving the news about Naomi. Catching up. All the dirt sheets is kind of keeping me up to date. And other than that, I mean, we hit up Anime Ocean City this past weekend, so that was fun. So we did a little con. A con trip, worked that, and that was a great first year con. I mean, they had a couple thousand people,
nice.
So they did really well. So that's just what we've been up to. We're looking forward. We got some other things planned for this month. This month is my wife's birthday, or anniversary month, and just a bunch of other shit. The show's coming up, so a bunch of cool shit.
You're saying you're going to be broke?
No. So tax return came, and my bonus for my company came at the same time, because my company gives our Christmas bonus like in spring for some reason after the end of the fiscal year. I guess I don't fucking know, but it's kind of nice. Like my tax return and my bonus came at the same time. So we're actually going to Dominican Republic. We're going to DR in a couple of weeks. For our anniversary, so we're going to spend about a week out there and just chill on the beach and just have a good, actual vacation that has nothing to do with a con or any work. So that's going to be nice, because I've had that in like 3 years.
That'll be dope. All right, WebsterStyle. Since we last spoke, you finally saw that I wasn't lying. Trinity Fatu actually signed up with Impact.
I watched it. I saw Impact. I was enjoying it. But, like I said to you last week, that's a good move for her. And they have a great women's division. And I like Impact's product. I've since they've righted the ship about 2-3 years ago, actually it was more like 2 years ago, like they put on a really good product. But the knockouts have always been, in my opinion, the crown jewel as far as TNA Impact, because before the WWE Women's Revolution, the knockouts were killing it over in TNA before it changed to Impact. And even with Impact, that's a good fit for Naomi. That's a really good fit. Excuse me, Trinity. That's a really good fit.
There you go.
Definitely. There was I was checking out the news real quick to just help us with this week's podcast. In regards to Trinity, she made a statement that appeared on today's Busted Open Radio, why she left WWE, and it was because of the way I was talked to and handled. And she said it was the lowest she ever felt in her life. Does that surprise you both about how WWE has been treating people?
Not at all.
The releases?
Especially one person in particular that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, it's sad to see that.
Yeah.
Sad to see that.
And it really sucks too, because like when she was championship, I mean, Vince came out and like did a little, his little shimmy with her, and I thought this was going to be like a really good long run. And like, yeah, they just dropped the ball hard because she was a huge baby face at that moment in time. And I mean, she was running with it, and it really sucks. So it doesn't shock me at all that is the reason why. And, and she's probably one of the few people who are just like, I don't give a shit about the money. Like her husband, Jimmy, getting the money, so she can do whatever. But like, I'm going to go where I'm valued and where I'm respected, and just do what I want. You know what I mean? Like, and that's that's the thing. Like, and that's very much how I take my role, where I work. Like I just want to be respected where I'm working. You know what I mean? Like I also have to care about the money, I don't have, I'm not married to another wrestler on the main product, making millions and millions of dollars. And actually, funny enough, I don't mean to like change the subject. I think they just dropped the salaries for AEW on like the top paid wrestlers. And that list was pretty shocking, actually.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, you didn't? CM Punk and Moxley are up there at the top 2. And Kenny Omega and the Bucks are right behind them.
Now, I'm not surprised at that, but do Omega and the Bucks get additional salaries as far as being EVPs?
I don't know. Like, and that's like the whole thing. I hope they do like a breakdown after a couple of years of like how that worked. Like, I don't know if they're actual EVPs of the company or if they're just like given that role, like
an honorary role.
Yeah, like an honorary role. Like, I don't know. Like, do they make, obviously I think, obviously people get their cuts of, their merch sales. So I think this is just like base salary for wrestling. Maybe they are EVPs and maybe they get a separate thing for being an EVP, but I think this is just like their wrestling salaries that got released. And Jade is on there. Britt's on there with Adam Cole. They're getting paid the same. Jade's getting paid the same as all of them. So it's pretty interesting list.
Interesting about Jade though.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 million for Jade, which is the same as Britt Baker and Adam Cole. Which I mean, after only like 2 years of wrestling, I mean that's
shocking.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that we got a list that they actually put their business out there.
Dog, and they just signed Brian Cage, and he's getting paid $1 million, and I'm just like,
I can believe that though.
Really?
I can believe it. I'm not saying I think it's right. I can believe it.
Yeah. Like with a big bulking man. Oh, look! There's no one like him. Give him $1 million.
Well, not just that. I mean, Cage is recognizable. People into wrestling know him. They know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a horrible wrestler, but he puts on good matches. You use him right, he's fun to watch.
And I'm not hating on him, like, because he is fun to watch. He is a great wrestler. It's just I've never seen him stand alone. Like, he's always needed someone, and I guess that's the true same with Brock. Like this showing of Brock is the first time I've ever really kind of seen him. Well, in the past year or two, but since Heyman's with Roman, this is the first time we've really seen him without like a mouthpiece,
right,
or like a manager. You know what I mean? And he's just been elevated because of his size, his body type, his size, and his notoriety. So I mean, I guess Brian Cage in the same vein is kind of like a Brock Lesnar. It's just he's unique in that aspect because he's not only big, but like he can fucking wrestle just like Brock.
He's fast too.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I can't understand it. It shocked me because I was just like, huh. Like, I just kind of dumbfounded me because it was also a new deal. So I was just like, interesting.
So in regards to AEW, if I can, to some of just the late breaking topics, guys, where they're getting ready to head over to Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about them, finally taking AEW across the pond? And there's been, over 43,000 tickets sold for pre-sale.
Now?
There's like
43.
Different, people's takes on it. Like, oh, they're not selling enough. They're not going to fill it up.
Tony was
I saw
pissed.
Saraya battling, the knuckleheads that are talking shit.
Dude,
I think it's awesome. And I actually would love to, if I could, take a break from work and just come over there and check that out, because I think that'll be an amazing experience. This brand's first live show, overseas. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's what, all in?
All in, AEW All In.
Yeah, and it's like one of their big pay-per-views, So I am ecstatic for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always great to go over and not prioritize the states, because there's wrestling fans all around the world,
right?
You know what I mean? And the E's been doing it for a while. And then obviously New Japan, comes over here, so I mean, so it's about that time, I mean, AEW is still relatively new. I think this is pretty quick for that, and it's very ambitious to do Wembley Stadium, because that could have gone south real quick. And your boy TK was on those trolls as well, being like go kiss Tony, or whatever his name is, Nick Khan's ass, you marks, like he was just like freaking out on Twitter. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I love and I also hate that they respond to trolls. It's just like,
yeah, Tony, I mean, not Tony, but Nick, Tony Khan, sometimes I wish he shut up. The things he doesn't need to say, because he comes off like a rich, entitled asshat sometimes. I know he's passionate about it, but that it's not always the best look, in my opinion. But getting back to Wembley Stadium, they'd only have a card announced. And Wembley Stadium, I looked it up, it's a capacity of about 90,000. So you're almost 50% sold with no card announced whatsoever. They don't even know who's going to be there.
I love that.
What, it's been 2 weeks?
That's awesome.
Or whatever it is. 2 weeks, you're already 50% sold out just about. That's a win.
Yeah, that's a win no matter what.
And when is the show?
The show is I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for that
in the summer.
Question. Very soon. Because I have something else chimed up real quick.
Okay.
But you love to see it, because you want them to compete with WWE. WWE is this international product. Once AEW starts doing the same kind of thing, it's it'll show, and I want to see AEW succeed. And I think this is a big step in making that happen. Would you gentlemen agree?
I want to say this. I disagree with you slightly.
Ooh, okay.
I don't want them to compete. I want them to be AEW. I want them to be their own organization, and that's kind of that whole Tony Khan criticism. I want them to be their own organization, not worry about WWE. Because let me be frank with you.
I feel
WWE doesn't worry about anybody else. Even going back to talking about Impact before. Impact doesn't compare itself. We even try to compare itself to WWE. And I think most of the other independents that have kind of found their niche, they aren't looking and say, hey, we want to be WWE light, or we want to go toe to toe with WWE. In my opinion, based on even like MLW, like you don't see that. So I just want AEW to be AEW and put out again AEW product and not worry about anybody else, because there are enough fans out there who are willing to plunk down their money for their product if they have a good product, regardless of who else is out there.
So I'm going to say, and kind of retort to that is, no matter what, they're going to be competing. They're in the same industry. Like I do this with my work all the time in construction, where it's like all the other construction companies, like we are competition for one another. Something my company likes to do is like they wait for other companies to do things before we do them. And it's like, you mitigate the risk because it's going to work. Now they do it, but then you don't become a follower. So that's the thing I will say about AEW is I don't want them to be a follower. Like I want them to take those risks. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, they're going to be competition. They're going to be competing. They're always going to, you know what I mean? Like, and vice versa. I mean, WWE, I think, is competing with AEW, like people are pushing out all these viewership numbers. Like people make it a competition because they want it to be a competition, almost like, like WWE is a football team and AEW is an opposing rival football team. And they just love that clash, and then also they kind of also grabbed Cody. So WWE is kind of in it now, like this was a thing. And like they always mentioned, like, well, when he was at the other place, like, the commentators still mentioned the other place, same as AEW. So, I mean, they are in competition. But I do want, like you said, I don't, And it's kind of hard since WWE's been around so long. No matter what you do, it's kind of going to resemble something WWE has done, like, so going to Wembley, like, I mean, WWE has also had UK tours, but it shouldn't stop AEW from doing this on their own. Like, they're doing it in 5 years, 4 years, versus who knows how long it took WWE to do it, So, but yeah, so it's just, I just wanted to say that because no matter what, they're going to be competing. And I know that's just like mincing words here, like vernacular, and but I believe in their product. Like you said earlier, TK, like I do wish he would just stop feeding the trolls.
Gotcha.
Because it does come off pretentious. But I think he's just, like you said, like I don't think he knows, because same thing, I think someone else does it too. Britt Baker's always going after trolls on Twitter. I'm just like, like, maybe that's what they do for fun, like just to pass the time. But like, people just say shit to say shit online. Who cares?
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen. I see your point both, and I you really got me with it. You just want AEW to be AEW WebsterStyle. I feel you on that one, and to your credit as well, Shawn. Like, yeah, you want to. It's the realness. They're both in the same industry, so they are going to get put in. It just reminds me of the love that I had for both WCW and WWF. I loved both equally at that time, and true. Both had their own merits. And so you just enjoyed that. But let me do one last bit of AEW news before we slide over into some other things.
All In is August 27th.
Okay, so they got time to fill up the rest of this
yeah,
plenty of time.
Yeah.
They may have to increase the seats because once they get the drop on who's competing, I'm sure everybody and their mom are going to want to be there. So they're going to want to be all in. So we'll get there.
It's going to be wild.
One last bit of AEW news. Gentlemen, have you heard that there will no longer be Dark and Dark Elevation, because on June 17th, they're going to start a 2-hour program on TNT called Collision. So we'll have Dynamite, we'll have Rampage, and now we'll have Collision. Shawn, what are your thoughts on now Dark getting dark and shifting to Collision on Saturdays?
You mean the CM Punk show? Because that's literally what it is. So that CM Punk is not around the Elite, which I don't know if that's true or not at kayfabe, if it's work, who knows? I find it interesting. I think they tried really hard to push Dark and Elevation. I think it was kind of experimental. Obviously everything went to YouTube. You saw it when you went to live events. You saw them record it. You see the things at the bottom when like so-and-so defeated blah 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 blah. Like, they're trying to keep you updated. They're trying really hard to push it. I just don't think it got the viewership. And with this, I think they wanted more primetime television. Like, that's their main critique, I think, online, is that they just don't have enough hours. They only have 3 hours on TV, and that's literally one night of WWE on Raw. You know what I mean? And they have, in total, they have NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. That's like 7 hours of wrestling. So with this, they're at 5 now. So I think this is going to be better to help build more storylines, which is another issue that they're kind of falling behind on. And then also showcasing more diverse talent, because they have such a large roster. I think this is an opportunity, and they could do like a brand split, like people, on the TBS channel versus TNT, or, the people on Dynamite and then people on Collision. And then there's a Collision course pay-per-view where they, like Survivor Series, like mash together and fucking fight each other. Maybe there's separate titles and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of opportunity there. So I'm really excited. Being on Saturday is kind of because that's especially when people are going out, and then also that's also when WWE has their monthly fucking pay-per-view. So it's going to be a little challenging, in my opinion. And I hope they're just not banking straight up on CM Punk getting the numbers, because it's such a weird time. Like, I don't know exactly what time it's going to be Eastern on Saturdays. I'm curious to see what they do. But like, I mean, people go out on Saturdays, man. And that, I mean, people go out on Fridays too, and SmackDown still gets good numbers. So I mean, it's kind of a toss up. As long as it's on like primetime TV, I don't know what channel is going to be on. If it can get on Fox or like TNT. One of those other TNT. Is it on TNT again? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I think they're gonna have to have more than just CM Punk on that show, to kind of draw in people. And I don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? I don't know who can bring in that kind of draw, outside of Mercedes. You get CM Punk and Mercedes Moné, and like I know she's on a per appearance contract with NJPW still, and Stardom, but that's the only thing that I see making Collision work right now is having Mercedes and CM Punk, and then both of them just like running shit.
Okay. All right. WebsterStyle, what do you think about? Because I know you've been tuning into Dark and Dark Elevation.
I didn't realize they were getting rid of both. I thought it was just Dark Elevation, but I was just scrolling through. I feel this way. I feel as though they probably will make more money even at like a Saturday time slot, like in the PM afternoon show, because I'm looking through and you're talking about Dark and Dark Elevation. They average anywhere between 100 to 120 views.
100,000?
Yeah, 120,000 views. They can do that on a Saturday afternoon. They could do that on a Saturday evening. And then you have also the ad buys. And I don't know what TBS ratings are right now for that sort of time slot. TNT on a Saturday, if it is prime time. But I think they'll probably do better. And honestly, I don't even think they need. I'm seeing Collision, and this is in my head. I'm seeing Collision as a main event, or back in the day, a WWF Superstars type of show.
Wow. Interesting.
Especially if we're talking about, giving talent more time on TV, which is exactly what Dark and Dark Elevation essentially are. I see Collision taking, if those shows are being eliminated and it's replacing with Collision, I see Collision having that same purpose, where you're going to see a lot of those jobbers who come in, get that check. You see a lot of stars you don't see on Dynamite or Rampage too often. Again, much to Shawn's point, it's a way to actually further storylines, since now you have a weekly nationally televised show to really further. Because the one downside of YouTube, it's YouTube. There is no sort of structure format. You don't come back weekly. Once you put it there, it's there, and that's where it lives. So you don't know where people are going to start. With it being on regular linear television, you know when it comes on, you know when it starts. If you missed a week, you know when to go back. Yeah, you kind of got that on YouTube, but it's something about the standard formula of watching TV, destination television. YouTube is not destination television. If you're trying to tell a story, YouTube is probably, in many respects, not the best place to go to try to figure out what happened and where your story is. Because if you miss a week or two or three, especially with all the other videos that are on AEW's channel, you may be very hard pressed to try to find that episode that you missed.
Yeah, definitely. Because right now, I mean, they cram through the show. You know what I mean? Like, if some people do a promo and it's like 30 seconds,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to build a story off of that, because they're trying to cram so much wrestling, and I appreciate that, because I actually do want to see wrestling. Whereas the opposite on Raw, like a whole 3-hour show, you maybe get like 30 minutes of wrestling in total, which is insane. But I mean, that's their like that's their grab, like their soap opera through and through. Like they tell the story. They have the promos that last 15, 20 minutes. But like it's captivating still, in some regard. When done right, yeah. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see or witness. I still think they should probably keep one, either Dark or Elevation, just for the upcoming talent, or like the least experience, like the lesser experienced people, just so that they can still like have that time, like at live events, like that's pre-recorded and still like shown on YouTube. And also to give some of the announcers that are up and coming, because I know like Paul Paul has been announcing, right? So like give him a little bit more time to like hone his skills.
Right.
Because right now with Excalibur, Tony and fucking Taz, I mean, that's a great, like, I love them commentating.
Right.
Like, that is such a good team. Like, they have me dying. The Taz and the Pickle thing with MJF had me losing my shit. But anyway, Pat, what do you think about Collision? I'm so sorry.
Oh no. I'm just setting stuff up for y'all to dunk it right now. I'm excited for it. I'm both with y'all that I think why not still keep that dark elevation? You know, that stuff, because I've been to a lot of AEW live events. I like that they pre-record this stuff and they air it later. And just kind of give that arena for jobbers, talent to work the kinks out. I think that's a great venue, and it might get stifled with having it to be, you know, broadcasted a little bit. But I am excited that we have another live venue for just more people to get some shine and also play out the stories. So I'm super excited about Collision. But again, in regards to just getting rid of both of them, like WebsterStyle, you know, can we keep one of them, one of the darks? So we could just work out the kinks. That would be nice. So yeah, those are my feelings. But per my background, we have been giving a lot of WWE some play the past couple weeks. But because we missed you last week, Shawn, we're now post the draft. You missed our conversation about the new title and the look of it. I think we both agreed it's a beautiful title, but just how we got to this point, if you watched, you know, WebsterStyle and are like upset, you know, we've all been getting a little bit more and more upset with WWE in months, but it just kind of takes away, you know, our conversation, it takes away what Roman built, what they're doing with Cody. Just a quick follow-up with you, since you missed out on that. If you could just, you know, your thoughts quickly on the WWE title and now this draft and your feeling on the draft before we then go to WebsterStyle and his feelings on the draft.
So first thing, the title, ugly. I hate it. I know it's a callback to some of the older belts. It's just so clunky. And even like the detailing, like it just is so bold. And like I said, it's reminiscent of like the old school, like Goldberg.
That's what I like
title.
about it.
You know, I guess, but like I want it to be more intricate. Like, I mean, we like, you know, like let's not go back in the past. Let's make things better. No, not repeat the same. And it looks clunky. And you know, I hate the fact that they keep on like, you know, poking like, you know, Roman might get it, you know, like Paul Heyman making comments about it and shit like that. And I'm just like, man, motherfucker, don't even joke. If Roman gets this fucking goddamn belt, I'm going to lose my shit. And like I said before, I'll never watch his fucking product again, and for like another 3 months. and like I'm going to be so mad if that happens. You know, and like I saw the dirt sheets, and the only reason they're bringing this up is because of like the original plan, like 5 months ago or like right before, you know, WrestleMania, was to split up the titles, you know, or unify them into one title. But, you know, plans fell through, and that's why they came up with this new title, because now I guess they want Roman to beat this record, you know, go past 1,000 days or whatever. And it's getting boring. I'm very bored of it.
Yes.
I could sit and watch Heyman in the ring all day, especially with Seth Rollins, like this past Monday. Hilarious. They're so good in the ring together. Seth and Rollins. I really hope Seth is the one to take the title. Seth or Cody. You kind of have to at this point. Like, they're both so fucking over. You know, like I necessarily don't think Seth needs the belt because he's so over. And I feel like Cody deserves a chance to shine with the belt since he's never had it, even though I also don't think he really needs it because he's so over. But I think it's just the true underdog story. And obviously we're going to have the backlash. And anyway, you didn't ask me about that. The draft. Very lackluster. I hate the structure of the draft. I miss the old school draft days where it's like all the wrestlers sitting down and they're cheering. And you see the reaction, you know, like you see like Undertaker get drafted to SmackDown. And he's like fucking just knocks shit over and walks out because he's pissed, you know. And like there was emotion, and now it just like, you know, it just seems like, oh, like, you know, Triple H is Roger Goodell up there making an announcement, but you don't even see like the wrestler. Like at least cut to a promo of their reaction of them getting
Right.
drafted to one side or the other. Like you don't necessarily have to have them in the group, and then they go to the NXT people in a group, like they're cheering, like they're a crowd, like yeah, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. That's makes zero sense to me. And like, you know, if I'm watching the product for like entertainment, like I want it to make sense, and I want it to be entertaining. That's not entertaining to me. Like just watching Triple H stand up there and Raw picks. And then, or Shawn Michaels and fucking Michael Hayes bum ass coming out there, and then Brock interrupting them. And I'm just like, all right, like Brock interrupts everybody, and I just, I'm not into the draft. And like they always do this thing where it's like the draft doesn't, like the brands don't matter, and then they all of a sudden they want to revamp it and then split it up again. And then, but there's free agents, and they go in between, and Brock's a free agent again, of fucking course. And it's just the same thing over and over. And it's just like Brock's been a free agent for like the past 3-4 years. Like it's the same shit, and it's just, and now it's not even entertaining at this point, because they got rid of the one cool thing, you know, that actually continued the story. So that's my feelings on the draft. I don't give a shit who went who. I think the women's belts are swapping, because they're going to opposite brands, same shit that they've always done. And like, I don't even know what I'm excited for. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't. Like, Seth is on Raw, Roman's on SmackDown again. I don't know. I'm not excited for anything.
All right. WebsterStyle, your thoughts on the draft. You obviously, we talked, about the belt, but
right.
Now we've had the draft. Your thoughts. Actually, you know what? Let me do a real quick precursor, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Some notes that I just found out real quick, because I was half curious. So maybe I can lead into you if you don't mind, WebsterStyle.
Okay, no problem.
And actually, just my quick thoughts real quick is, and I said this to you last week as well, and they reflect Shawn's. Fuck the draft. It's bullshit. They go back and forth. The one thing that I wanted to see, and I finally got it in certain respects, was those NXT call-ups.
Right.
I'm curious who we're bringing up. And so to lead you in real quick, I just found some news on, because I wanted to do another search, because I know, outside of watching the broadcast on Raw and SmackDown, there was stuff that they said, oh, you can check it out online. There's like the other shows on the Peacock or whatever. I don't think any of us were tuning in on that, YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
So I found a quick list real quick that it says, here's who's coming to Raw, SmackDown, and who's are the free agents. So I'm just going to run off these names real quick, if you guys don't mind, along with who we know that we saw on the broadcast. And then if you could give me your thoughts, WebsterStyle, and obviously, your opinion on the draft. But on Raw, for Raw, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, Johnny Gargano, Akira Tozawa. We also have Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, Emma, Piper Niven, Riddick Moss, Tegan Knox, Xia Li, Indus Sher, who is Jinder Mahal, Sangha, and Veer Mahan, and Odyssey Jones. On SmackDown, we have Tamina and Grayson Waller. That's a call-up. And as free agents that can go between both shows, Baron Corbin, Zion Quinn, Elias, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. Obviously, as you saw in the mix of that, there's NXT people that were put into there. I know during the broadcast, we got Caden, Chance, and Carter and Cross. Those two from SmackDown. Yeah. Indy Hartwell was another call up.
Yeah.
Alba Fire.
Ray is coming back.
The other the tag team women. That's what I was excited to see. That's the news I wanted to hear on call ups. WebsterStyle, your thoughts in call ups and draft and all that.
Everything Shawn said except for NXT. I especially knowing that they really did not know where they were getting drafted. If they were getting drafted, I felt like those reactions were real, and to hear they actually were was pretty cool for me. We talked last week. I said they should call up Zion Quinn. They did, even though the free agent thing is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Zoe Stark, they called her up. So I'm interested to see what they do. I'm interested with Indus. I am not the biggest Jinder Mahal fan. I would not disrespect what he does in the ring. I would not disrespect how he's grown over the years, since that his ill-fated run as WWE champion, in my opinion. And I think one of the things we talked about before was the tag team division and how it was so lackluster. I mean, particularly in the women's side, which is why I'm glad they brought up Chase and Carter. I still remember the old names. Casey
same.
I still, yeah, I was
it's weird.
Like, yeah. So I'm like, what is her new name? Yeah. So I'm glad they brought them up. The shuffling around outside NXT, I really could care less. I was surprised they brought up Pretty Deadly though. I feel like the men's, they have a lot of tag teams. They just weren't using like Angel Garza and Humberto. They weren't using them. So you hopefully now we'll get, they first of all need to split the belts. They need to split tag team belts, personally speaking. But I hope now that they'll really have more of a shine on the tag team division, especially since they brought up Pretty Deadly, they brought up Indashir. I'm trying to think if they brought up any other ones, but I think the star of that I hate him, which is perfect, is Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller, I feel like Grayson Waller is the Australian Miz. Like that's when I hear him, his braggadociousness, his way on the mic, I see him very much as Miz 2.0. Like he could really be in that Miz spot where if he really transitions well, he can be a tag champion, a world champion. Like even as a smaller build guy, he has the swag to be able to carry it and make you believe. And just think of the feuds he's been in, even in NXT. I mean, he went up against AJ fucking Styles, okay? I mean, his matches with Gargano were really good. I mean, even I didn't catch all of his last match with Baby Steiner, but like I enjoyed that as well. And he just had a match with Carmelo as well. And I don't remember how that played out, but and one thing I said with Patrick last week, NXT is like the one place I go where I know I'm going to get a pretty decent show every week. So I know the wrestling is going to be pretty good. I like what they've done with their women's division. Even the tag division, I don't care about it, but they were doing something with it. They actually had tag teams for you to care about and to break up. But I'm just really interested to see what they do with the NXT call-ups. Grayson, I think he's a stud, but Zion Quinn, I've been waiting for them to do something because he has so much promise, so much potential. He has the look. I'm not sure about his mic skills, but I feel like they can really do something special with him. And I don't know how old he is, but I think he's still sub 30, if I remember correctly. So he's still pretty young.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you on that, WebsterStyle. It's going to be
33.
Really? He looks great.
Yeah.
It's going to be real interesting. And I don't know if y'all catch my NRW What's in the Box. I've been getting, because of the KayFabeyBaby show that we do, I've been getting back into wrestling trading cards and collecting, spending a lot of money on eBay.
Oh, no.
I have a bunch of, shit, what did I just get in today? Maybe I can throw it up on the camera. I got a Shelton Benjamin autograph card.
Oh, damn.
I got a
nice.
Zia Lee. And as of today's recording, because of the draft, I got a Caden Carter and Cross. All the call-ups, I picked up their autograph cards online. Crazy. I have Sheamus right here, Odyssey Jones, who got called up, King Woods, Biggie. I've been spending a lot of money. Anyway, let me not talk about that, and because if my wife hears this, she'd be like, "God damn!"
I was about to say, do we need to make a phone call?
She don't know about all that.
Like,
hey,
you talk to your husband.
So anyway, yeah, collecting a lot of wrestling cards, and because of the draft, they kind of focused some of my collecting a bit. Anyway, if y'all want to check out NRW What's in the Box, when I opened up my packs and I buy boxes of cards, check it out on the channel. So anyway, guys, so that's the draft. I'm excited about the call-ups. But before we close out, we do have a big pay-per-view this weekend. So I just want to get some quick hits, quick thoughts on who do you think is going to win. I'm going to go through the list real quick, if you gentlemen don't mind. Who do you think is going to win? And just a quick point or two. If you don't want to comment or make a comment outside of just your pick, you don't have to, because I think we have like 10 minutes of our recording time left. before we sign off out of here. So
I forgot we had a pay-per-view.
Same.
I forgot all about it.
A big one in Puerto Rico, brother. Which also beyond like the AEW All In. If I could take off this weekend, I would have, because it'd be awesome to be. I love international shows, and I love Puerto Rico. I would have loved to have gone to this event. So, gentlemen, you ready for me to go through the list and predict the winners?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. First up, Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos,
Seth.
or however we pronounce it, my brother's name. Who do you think? Who do you want to see win? Who do you think should win? Quick, throw it at me.
I go with Seth. I think a lot of this is not so much almost winning, but almost being put over. In many respects, I think the Brock match. I enjoyed this match with Brock at WrestleMania. I don't like necessarily how it ended, but overall, I thought it was a very enjoyable match, and it was something different. And I think that's one of the things of almost when he's working with somebody that's experienced, you see something different. And I think Seth is. It'll be fun to see him stomp almost, but I'm gonna enjoy watching this match. I'm excited, not excited for it, but I think it will be fun because of Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You feel the same, Shawn?
I'm in the grants. I just, it's going to be good to see him stomp Omos and see how it happens. And I think Seth is going to win. I think it really ruins Omos as long as Omos can come out looking strong.
That's my thing about this match.
Beat the shit out of Seth for a while and just come out looking strong, because I know they're trying to push him, but like at the same time, you can't dog Seth. Like I think Seth is just on a tear right now, and you can't dog him again. I feel like they dogged him a couple times with the Edge shit. Like dogged him, obviously. Just everything. Even with the Logan Paul, at least he got his retribution of Logan Paul, but you know what I mean. But like he's not a wrestler, so it's kind of weird. So it's going to be entertaining. I'm not happy about the match, but hopefully they both come up on top.
Completely agree. That's where I'm at with it. I don't like that they're doing this match because we don't need to power Omos. Build them up exactly. And then with Seth, man, Seth is fucking Seth, man. Don't. Although like you said, with how he can make people look good. That's what I love about Seth. But like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, next match up. I'm curious what you guys think. The United States champion Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed.
I can't wait to see Austin Theory get squashed between two big, beefy,
meaty men.
Yeah, kill us. Look, I'm here for Austin, not for Bobby and Bronson. I care less about Austin Theory.
Yeah, right, I can give a shit less.
His title reign needs to end, in my opinion.
Agreed. He has so much time. He has so much time left to do great things and be a champion. Like he's fucking like 23, 24. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I'm not going to take away. I mean, obviously we hate him, so he's doing his job.
Exactly.
Yes. So I do respect that, but he's also just a shitty human being. And that's also another reason why I hate him. So it's kind of like a bunch of shit kind of culminating. I didn't mean to cut you off, Eld. I'm sorry. I think great match. I think they're still giving it to Theory because they fucking hate us. I think it's literally just going to be Austin like being a bitch, hiding outside the ring, and it's going to be Bronson and Bobby just going at it, beating the dog shit out of it, slapping the meat, slapping, getting the bruises, good old, fucking slobber knocker, and then Austin's going to come in and fucking, get the pin. Or someone's going to interfere and it's going to set up another feud with Bobby. Who knows who's going to come out and screw over Bobby, and then it sets up another storyline. Like there's so many things that can happen that can just continue, or start a new storyline. And then I think they just, I don't know what they're going to do with Austin. I don't know what their end game is with Theory. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I think he keeps it, unfortunately.
All right.
I would love for Bronson Reed to get it.
That's who I want to get it.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I agree with what you're saying, Shawn, that I think they're going to let him continue, which we all don't want to happen.
No,
but please, Bobby's a beast. Bobby has already done what he's needed to do.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need the
Yeah,
belt.
he doesn't need it.
But Bronson needs it like a motherfucker. You're building this cat up now. Give it to fucking Bronson.
Well, they've also like let him go so many fucking times and brought him back, and they haven't given him anything.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, it's annoying. I do want him to get it. I do want
Yeah.
Bronson to have a title run, but like I don't think it was enough build. And
Agreed.
it's not a good enough story. Like maybe Bronson goes on and does a couple more matches. Maybe he gets set up with another storyline, and then comes back and challenges 1-on-1, just him and Austin or Theory, and then he wins it. You know that. You know how WWE likes to drag shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say this though. I think that comment about not enough build, I think we're going to get that pretty much down the ticket because we're like literally less than a month from WrestleMania. And then we all know how that Raw after WrestleMania went and just screwed the pooch on any sort of storyline. So let's be real. We've had maybe 3 good weeks of really putting together a build for all these matches.
There's only 2 good builds, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get to them. Right. So let's get down this roster real quick.
All right, Raw. Next up, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. WebsterStyle. Go ahead.
I'm hoping this is going to be a really good match because these are 2 wrestlers I really enjoy.
Same.
I just don't know. I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
and honestly, it's partially because of that WrestleMania match. I was underwhelmed with, like, I enjoyed it, but maybe because of those 2 wrestlers, I expected more from Asuka and Bianca from beginning to end. I am kind of in that same mindset with this one. I loved Io Shirai. I don't think we haven't really seen her capability on the main roster like we did in NXT. And I'm hoping to see that Io Shirai versus, now mind you, we saw some of that in War Games, so I won't take that away from her. But with her as a singles competitor, we haven't seen that on the main roster since she came back in August. So I'm hoping that we get a really good match out of them. But I think that Bianca is the one that should win. Io, they haven't built her up to put a belt on her. I mean, she's just been part of Damage Control. If you're not in NXT, even if we don't know who this Io Sky is. I keep calling it Io Shirai. Io Sky is.
Yeah.
We don't know this person. We as fans haven't had time to embrace her or to really hate her, in my opinion. So I go Bianca. Yeah.
I go Bianca too. I mean, like I said, there's no build up. There's no story. And like that long of a run that Bianca has, I think she's breaking records. Like you can't just let her, get beaten by someone that with like this little build. I do think it's going to be an amazing match. I hope it is. I think there was a lot of factors in play with the WrestleMania match. We had the Rhea and Charlotte match the night before, and that set such a high fucking bar.
It did.
And then also I think Bianca's wardrobe was malfunctioning and she spent a lot of time trying to readjust it. And I think that kind of threw the match off a little bit. So I think that's why we didn't get as crazy as we do, because I mean Bianca puts on a fucking show.
Oh, she does.
And then Io Sky definitely does too. So I'm curious as to how that goes. I hope they don't do any kind of like DQ shit, but they might. Maybe Bailey and them comes out, Damage Control, and fucks up Bianca, and they get disqualified, and it just continues the story. But at least there's a story then, And then who knows who comes to Bianca's aid, and then there's like
both going to SmackDown too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a very, that would, in my opinion, that's a smart move for the storylines to have Damage Control come out, think that they're interrupting but not being seen, and then they get caught fucking, and then she gets DQ'd, and that makes Io Sky still look strong instead of getting pinned, in singles competition, and then it keeps obviously Bianca strong, and it sets up this story, and then hopefully it leads into whatever Night of Champions or SummerSlam or wherever the fuck is coming up in the next few months. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good match no matter what I think.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Big host for that one. Y'all know I'm a women's wrestling fan, so I like them both. So we'll see what happens. Next up, this one has a little bit more storyline to it. Matt Riddle and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, KO and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, the Usos, and Solo Sikoa. Shawn, take us off on this one.
I hate Matt Riddle. I'm sorry. He's just a ridiculous human being. He's a horrible person. I'll say it from this guy. Like, he's a great wrestler, but I can't stand his character, man. Like, him as a person, as character, I can't stand it anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. I don't know what it is. And I don't know how he joined Kevin and Sammy. It was so fucking random. And, they're just trying to shove him into something for some reason. Like, I don't get it, with the bloodline shit, obviously that's the storyline, is like the Usos and Roman. Are they having a falling out? What is it like? Are they just pulling a red herring here and making us think that it's going to be something? And then you thought that they were going to betray Roman, but no. And then they just fuck over, whoever, Sammy or whatever. They make Sammy think that they're going to turn, and then Solo, like, what's going on? Like, they're building Solo up to be like, like this Paul whispering in his ear and trying to get him to be the whatever, the fucking world champion, and have more gold in the bloodline. Or is he going to be the one to take down Roman? So there's a story. And I like that. I like the bloodlines portion of it. And I do still like Sammy, trying to like convince them that Roman's not with them, and but like the Matt Riddle shit, it's gonna be a great match. Like I said, Matt Riddle's an amazing wrestler. I think we're gonna get a lot of good spots. I think this is probably going to be like a Young Bucks, Lucha Bros kind of spot fest. I think we are going to get that. And I mean, Usos also are just like, they're spot people. I mean, they have these spots. The kicks and everything, and they, so like they're gonna have a super kick party of themselves. But I'm curious to see what Solo does in this match, and that is what I'm going to be looking out for. But yeah, I obviously. I think the bloodline wins this because there's no stake in it. They're not going to lose the belts. I do see them winning by, Solo probably cheating or something like that. And the Usos get mad because they feel like they can defeat them on their own without, cheating. And then maybe that causes more discourse. I think that would be a good angle. But yeah, it's going to be a good, entertaining match. But this is like I said, one of the two storylines that have been going on that I'm excited for, but also fuck that dude in your backdrop with that stupid ass grin.
All right, WebsterStyle, what do you think about this match?
Make this real short and sweet.
Okay.
Exactly everything Shawn said.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Definitely think Bloodline's going to come through with it. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna save that for a thought came to mind while you were talking, Shawn, but I think I'll save it once we close this out with the matches.
Okay.
Because I think it might kind of also maybe change up some of these predictions that we just made. So I want to kind of do that cliffhanger for y'all.
Okay.
Next up, SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. I love them both, but come on.
This is going to be a fun match.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, but Rhea's going to win this.
Oh yeah, Rhea's going to do the pin that goes viral every single time where she mounts Zelina.
I think that's kind of like why they did this match.
Yeah, and and they're going to Puerto Rico, and also they're having the whole LWO versus Judgment Day thing, which is the other storyline, right. Which I fucking love. Right. Like this has been amazing, and I think this really highlighted Zelina. And this is something that Zelina, I think, really needed. Like when they brought her back.
Zelina more on the mic, though. Like, because Zelina was one of the best talkers back in the day when they let her talk.
Yeah, with Andrade. Yeah, they do. But there's so many stars in that group. You know what I mean? And so I understand. And of course, I don't think Ray doesn't need to talk. They don't need to let that man talk that much. But they should just give it to Zelina. But I would love for her to get a belt. I don't think it's happening, unfortunately. I would love to see her in a tag team with someone else. I don't know who. But yeah, between Bianca and Rhea dropping it to Zelina, no. It's going to be a good match. I think there's going to be a couple cool spots. Zelina likes to fucking do her Karanas and Poison Ranas and shit like that. So I think we're definitely going to get some cool fights, and maybe they make Zelina look a little strong, or maybe they squash her, because Rhea's just the fucking decimator or the beat or whatever the fuck they call her now. She's just gonna fucking mommy fucking Zelina right over.
I love it. All I know is my loins are going to be inflamed on this one because they are both very attractive women who are very different in appearance, but I think are so both extremely hot. That's all
I'm saying is, if people write fan fiction about WWE, I can only imagine what the fan fiction about this match would be.
Oh yeah. Or just do any artwork.
Well, we know what sort of artwork there is.
Bro.
I'm excited. The match is going to be fun, but yeah, definitely Rhea.
Yeah, definitely agree. I love them both, and like I said, I'm gonna be hot watching them both. Do that.
Thea just started back streaming again because they have a deal with Twitch now, or some shit. So she's back to streaming, which is great. She's so fucking fun.
Yep. All right, y'all. Next up, Bad Bunny, our host for this weekend's festivities in Puerto Rico, versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. I just love that title. I just loved it. I wanted Bad Bunny. Who would have thought? Super wrestling fan. He showed himself up when they let him do his thing, in recent pay-per-views. Like he's a superstar musician.
Impressive. Yeah.
So bro, dude's amazing. He's living the dream. He's living the dream. WebsterStyle, take us off on this one.
I'll be short and sweet. I think this is going to be a fun match. Bad Bunny has not disappointed so far. What the two main matches he's been in, he's working with somebody who he knows very well and has helped train him. They're going to put on a really good show. And again, there's that storyline. We got a couple year history there between those two now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for this one. And Bad Bunny, I can't see the host losing.
Yeah.
It may not be fair and square, like there may be a DQ, but I don't see Bad Bunny losing.
How do you have a DQ in a San Juan street match?
Well, that's true.
I don't think there's a DQ. Honestly, I think it's going to culminate into obviously Judgment Day coming out, LWO coming out, and it's just going to be a fucking brawl. And Bad Bunny's, I think, going to get it. I mean, he's like you said, it's a host. Last time we saw him was 2021. I think it was WrestleMania back in 2021. And he had the whole thing. He even had a shirt that said 2023. And that was the next time you're going to see him. And it felt so far away. I'm like, damn, we're not going to see him for 2 years. And boom, it's already fucking here. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun match. Like you said, Damian, Priest puts on a good match. And, they're heels. You can still make them look strong and overpowering and still make them lose. And it doesn't take anything away from their heat.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
They're so over right now.
And they're gonna come out, like I said, it's gonna culminate. It's gonna be a big faction war bullshit thing. Probably outside of Zelina and Rhea, because for some reason they've kind of been separating them when they have their own singles matches for some reason. Which I don't really understand, but I would still like this, even after the match, come out hobbling and shit like Rhea and Zelina and still continuing to beat the shit out of each other. I think that'd be great. But yeah, that's the storyline. It's been great. Maybe we're going to get the Dominic, seeing fucking with Ray again and seeing where that goes. And then maybe old boy Santos Escobar comes in, just clocks fucking Dom. That's a match I want to see. I want to see the Santos Escobar, I love your father. He's a mentor to me. He's like a father to me, and just seeing. And then obviously the fallout from that is going to be really interesting after a year probably of Escobar fucking betraying Ray or some shit, and then Dom sticking up for his dad again, and then turning babyface, and then turning on Judgment Day or some shit. So there's so many opportunities. So and that's the storylines that I like, because there's just it's endless possibilities. So that's going to be a great match, and it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be all over the place. But yeah, I definitely see Bad Bunny still getting the roll up or something. And then, just dancing the night away in fucking Puerto Rico,
Agree, definitely. And also that just also begs me to ask why we on this card, because I'm about to, tell you the last, match, but why there isn't an LWO card, with Ray and Dom and just all of that. That would have made sense. You're in fucking Puerto Rico, Latinos want to see it, it would have made sense, but I'm sure they're going to be integrated into that Bad Bunny versus Damian Street fight, and then the rematch and all that. But it just would have, I would have liked to see the LWO have a card, a match in that. But it is what it is, though. With everything else. So let me go with the last match, and then also my wild card thought, for y'all. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I just want to say, if you make Cody Rhodes lose again after you made him lose at WrestleMania, this is going to be some shit on how you doing that, brother. What the fuck? Shawn Mongold, lead me off on this one, man.
Man, fucking Undertaker 2.0 coming out here with the fucking cowboy hat, with the fucking trench coat. My man is wild for that. I don't know who let him out of the room or out of his fucking hotel room in that attire. He definitely does not have a fucking fashion person or like, he definitely doesn't have a stylist, because that man was just like, this looks badass, and I think it looks badass, so I'm wearing it. But outside of that, I like the story. I was kind of mad about it at Raw versus Mania. Just dragging this shit out, this underdog story for Cody. I think it's going to be an interesting match for Cody to see him take on like a Brock Lesnar type, like the bigger type, like really wear him down. And Brock is a very safe worker too. So, I mean, it's less likely that Cody's going to get injured again. I think, man, it's really hard to like say that someone needs to beat Brock. But Cody needs to beat Brock. Like you said, if they dog him again, I mean, Stardust is coming in a few months if he gets beat again. You know what I mean? Like they're going to take away all of his fucking momentum if they have him lose again. But at the same time, like I said, it's very rare that WWE allows Brock to get beaten. And so I don't know if that means like a DQ thing, but like, I mean, you can't have like all these DQs throughout a fucking pay-per-view. Like there needs to be some clean, decisive decisions here. And we've talked about a couple of scenarios of like DQ popping up and interferences popping up for this card. So I'm hoping it's a clean win. But yet again, to protect Brock, I think there's going to be some fuck shit happening.
Yeah, Shawn, I agree with everything you're saying. Cody needs to win. If he doesn't, everything in the past year is gone. Like pretty much, he is not a credible threat to be, whether it's to take down Roman or to be the WWF heavyweight champion. It's just he's lost all momentum if he loses to Brock.
Yeah,
and we know that's kind of Brock's thing, to kill people's momentum. Unfortunately,
so fucked up, man.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure how I feel about this match overall, though. I'm not sure if it'd be a good match or not. I mean, I enjoy Cody's matches, but just thinking of who he's faced so far in WWE, which obviously hasn't been that many, but even the Royal Rumble, I enjoyed him then. Brock is a different animal. So I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I think it's going to be a good match or not. I don't know how to call it, but I think Cody needs to win.
Yeah, I think, can we all agree that if he loses this just looks so bad for him, and what
it does.
It's only a bad thing for him.
Yeah, especially since Roman has beaten Brock already. Like there's no if Cody gets beaten by Brock, there's no storyline for like he gets a rematch with Roman if he can't even beat someone that Roman's beat. Yeah. So you can't. Yeah, it's
yeah.
If they do that to Cody, like my man better rethink what he's doing,
bro. It's crazy. Like, yeah, and one of the things Eldon and I brought up last week when we were talking about the new belts and this whole draft thing is, okay, say the two people we think should get the belt. I think we're Seth and Cody, right? Is who I think we mentioned, Eldon. But the one drawback with Cody getting it is what we all wanted as fans is to see him win it from Roman. We didn't get that payoff, and now this just seems like a blah way to get the title.
It's a consolation prize.
Yeah, it's weak sauce, man. I don't like it. And if he doesn't win against Brock, you fuck this man. I feel, man.
I saw a meme today. You know that meme where you got the guy that's on the winner pedestal, first, second, and third.
Yeah.
Like going crazy and whatnot.
At third place.
Cody, and then you pan out. Roman's on first, Roman's second place, and Cody's going crazy because he's third place with the heavyweight championship belt.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. And I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Cody went back just because he wanted the belt. You know, like it wasn't money. It definitely wasn't money. It was because he wasn't over in AEW. He wanted to be over. He didn't want to go heel, and he also wanted the belt. And he felt like if he got the belt at AEW, people would get mad because he's EVP or whatever the fuck. And he had that stipulation match that said he could never wrestle for the belt.
Right.
So I mean, he kind of put himself into a corner there at AEW. And unfortunately, I think that corner is coming back in the form of WWE because they kind of screwed him out of the Roman match.
Yeah.
And that was, and people were just like, oh, well, he just came back. I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but I don't know.
How many times have we had people just come back and they win the championship?
About every time Brock has come back.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
He's
the main culprit.
Yeah, they screwed my man. I just you hate to see that happen in the way his character has been portrayed. Just feel bad for the brother. So, all right, those are our picks for this weekend's pay-per-view. Like I said, I had kind of like a little wild card thought that I'm curious.
Yeah, your cliffhanger. What was it?
It could mess up some of these matches. We just had the draft.
Yeah,
we have some call-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think any of these call-ups could make some appearances to throw off some of these and create new storylines at Backlash? Do you think so? Would you like to see it? Is my question.
I don't think so, considering who they called up.
Thinking about some of the people that they called up, you don't think any of them could interfere to
especially since everything happens after the 8th. I don't think storyline wise it's a smart decision. You kind of want to end storylines and then start from scratch on the 8th.
Okay.
Or after Backlash, at least that's my opinion. And again, I'm not a booker, but just knowing who they called up from NXT with these matches, I can't see inserting pretty much anybody they called up into any of these matches. And frankly, let me be frank, even all of these are pretty high profile matches for the WWE. It isn't a super long card. All of these, everybody is in these cards for the most part are top tier talent as far as the company is concerned. I don't see them sticking, again, no disrespect to NXT. I don't see them sticking any of these call-ups into any one of these matches so quickly with these stars. If this was a even SummerSlam, we brought back Dakota Kai and Io Sky, but we brought them back with Bailey.
Yeah.
So
they're
unless
part of
there's
something
like that, I don't see.
Yeah.
And like even Shawn said, a lot of these feuds are built up half-baked, and the ones that aren't, you definitely don't want to insert anybody new into them because there's enough people as it is.
So I definitely don't think any of these people are going to be in the heavyweight championship thing. The one thing that I think will be shoved into Backlash, hopefully, is exactly what you said earlier, Eldon, is the way. Now you have Indy Hartwell coming back. And Johnny Gargano, I'm sorry, they've kind of dropped the ball with Johnny a little bit.
Well, he was injured, so I think that's why he disappeared a little bit.
Yeah. But even before then, it was just kind of, same with Ciampa, and he's getting better too, and he's healing.
Right.
So I'm curious. I really want the way to come back, interfere with this match, this 3-way match for the U.S. title or whichever title Theory has. Bronson wins it. They help Bronson win because he was obviously
I like
NXT.
that, actually.
And then Theory has enough heat to where he can feud with the Way, and then maybe Ciampa comes back and helps Theory, and then it's Dexter and Johnny Gargano and Theory and Ciampa going at it and having feuds.
I like that. I like that a lot.
See, yeah, and I think that's a good story because they all have history from NXT,
right?
And I think that's something that if people were just only Raw and SmackDown like main card watchers and don't really have the NXT, they can really go back to like all the NXT tapings of like Ciampa and fucking Gargano's history, and then they go back to the Way's history with Theory and how that was like his like go-to thing. But like they can keep him a heel, bring Ciampa back as a heel instead of being with the Miz. Like fuck that. Like bring him back with fucking Theory and just have them go at it. Like have some great matches because that would be some amazing matches. Then Indy's there. I don't know if they bring like one of the women over to Ciampa and Theory and make it like a faction on faction thing. I don't know, but it's a possibility, and it would definitely get Indy involved. It would get Dexter and Johnny back involved, and then Ciampa back involved with Theory, and they're all kind of newer stars and NXT people. But like, I think that's like main event. Like that's like high caliber storytelling.
I agree. I totally agree with everything you're saying. I think especially in healed Indy, Candice, Johnny Gargano. I mean, just Gargano and Ciampa in the ring together. I mean, that's gold right there. It doesn't even fucking matter. That's gold. You can have everybody else just orbit them and watch. It's still gold.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the one. That's the one thing I think that the call-ups possibly may have changed is bringing up Indy and then them being like, oh shit, the Way is back. Like everyone's in the same brand now. Right. Not the same brand, but at least they're out at NXT.
Right.
Everyone from the Way. And I mean, I love them. I mean, I know they're like all comedy, which I think they can still be. It's just now Dexter's with them instead of Theory, and Theory's opposing them, but like it's the whole like we helped make you. Like Theory, we helped train you, we helped make you, we got you to the main roster, so I think that would just be very good storytelling. And like I said, they need something for Johnny, man. They need something. They have to. But anyway, I digress. That's my little tidbit.
Well, we've gone over a lot this when I didn't even think we were going to talk about a lot. I think we filled up a lot of time with y'all today, man. Good convo. I'm curious. And I think, it's going to be interesting. And I like that left field that kind of came out of it because I think that's also a story to talk on another episode is now with these call-ups. Let's write a little bit, just like y'all wrote the Way thing now with this integration that could be a cool thing at Backlash. But,
do you want to do like fanfic, like fantasy, like stories and shit?
Yeah, we can
do that. I would love to do that.
So we'll save it for another episode. Let's sign off because we've all put a lot of time in this week.
Yeah.
Shawn Mongold, your lovely wife over there that you're right behind her butt. There she is. Has a wonderful show this weekend. Tell me about it and everything else and how the people can
Oh man, it is her birthday party. It's called Wamageddon. She is Waluigi behind me bending over. So it's going to be an all Waluigi dance party. We have a DJ, we have video games, we're gonna have magic, we're gonna have burlesque, and it's all Waluigi themed. So it's gonna be wonderful. But yeah, it's at Slash Run in DC. Stop on by Friday night. It's just it's gonna be a chill, fun time. It's gonna be ridiculously fun and just ridiculous. So it's gonna be a fun time.
All right. And how can the people check you out?
Hey, so all my socials are at SMongoldVO, as in voiceover. All
right, brother. WebsterStyle. How about you, bro?
You guys, everybody, check me out. Twitter, not Titter. Twitter at WebsterStyle. TikTok _WebsterStyle. What else is it? Instagram at WebsterStyle, and of course, anything and everything that is WebsterStyle can be found at WebsterStyle.com.
There you go. Thank you, brothers. Thank you, gentlemen. For me, it's the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and of course here with Shawn and WebsterStyle at the NRW and Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. That has been another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals podcast. Let us know what your thoughts on what we talked about this week, what you think, and we'll talk about it on another episode. And we'd love to see it. All right, y'all, we are out of here.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no!
That's it, Shrek.
Corey boy, I'm coming hard.